Hey Michael, it is Monday, January 6th, and I guess I'm answering a question today. Okay, so I'm venturing out to talk about travel, talk about living in different places today, and it's going to be longer than 4 minutes because that's a lot, so please don't penalize me. So, about travel and about living places that aren't home and what that's like, what the differences are. The more I travel and the more I live places that are not like home, the more I realize most places aren't that different. There are a lot of differences, but we live in a globalized world now. So, for instance, every single place I've ever been has McDonald's. Everywhere. Even like poor neighborhoods in Guadalajara, Mexico. They've got that. Coca-Cola everywhere. There are a lot of differences between a lot of places.
Italy is also amazing because of the people, the food. It's one of the birthplaces of Western civilization. And you can get a liter of wine for €5. Ching ching.
But everybody eats, and everybody loves, and everybody sleeps, and those things relate. I think travel really just makes you more, it relates you more to all the other people that you encounter. You realize you really aren't different. There is a local flair everywhere you go, and that's pretty cool. In Guadalajara, I noticed um, there was just a lot more music. You would like be out on the streets and hear music. Nashville has specific policies about busking and how to support that because they're known for music. Miami's that way too. Everywhere I go, I hear music. There's this one store that I pass living in Little Havana here, and they're always playing music, Latin music, like on full blast when I go by. And at first I was like, and then I was kind of like, no, that's fun. Like, that's kind of cool. Uh, so there's something about Latin culture where there's a lot of color and a lot of music, and you know, these like waspy Midwesterners could maybe do with that.
So, being in China is pretty amazing because you get to experience unreal food, incredible people, and you get to visit places like the Forbidden City, which is literally thousands of years older than our own country.
Each part of California is different. Like San Francisco is very different from LA. Um, in the Napa Sonoma valleys north of San Francisco, where all the wine, California wine, comes from, or a lot of it, are also kind of different. They feel very country, even though they're not that much farther away than San Francisco. Um, there are a lot of like alfresco villa type restaurants and wine tasting situations there. Napa and Sonoma almost feel like Italian hillside, whereas San Francisco, you walk by the Twitter building or the WeWork building or whatever, and you know that you're like a stone's throw away from Silicon Valley. But those two places aren't that far apart. So even California is pretty diverse. The British Isles, on the other hand, is very different. There's also a lot of music there. If you are in Dublin, I've spent about a month going around Ireland and spent some time in Dublin, and there's a ton of like Irish, quote unquote Irish music in the pubs. And it's kind of similar to like Nashville or whatever. They're trying to attract tourists and people staying, all that. But um, it's not the same. It doesn't feel like Guadalajara where, the music is just wafting all over the place. You may not even know where it's coming from. In Dublin, it's like, it's there. You'll hear like bagpipes on the streets and stuff. But then you like walk into the pub and that's a part. It's like entertainment for your experience. Um, that's a place that feels very as an American, it feels very like worlds are colliding because we in America will say You're like, what's your background? You'll say, oh, I'm Irish, or oh, I'm Polish, or whatever. But you're not, right? You're American. And to them, you're just American. And they're very warm, nice people. But, you know, when I was doing research for a grant I was trying to get to do some research abroad in Dublin, I realized, the population of Ireland is like 7, not quite 8 million people, including all their cities. Just the Irish diaspora in America is like 57 million. We are many times larger than them, and they're inundated with Americans who are visiting on vacation, trying to reconnect with what they think is home, who don't know anything, and just get drunk on St. Patrick's Day. And that's all fine. I hope they're having fun. But I would get tired too if everybody showed up and was like, I'm like you. It's like, you're not. So it's really interesting. The culture changes everywhere you go. Just based on history, based on the type of place you're in. Anyway, that's my my answer, or my non-answer, as you might you might think it is. People really aren't that different. The stuff that shapes people is history. Thankfully for us, we live in a time you can find out all about history anywhere you go, no problem, for free. So anyway, I hope you're doing okay, buddy. I had a wacky day today, going all around Miami, shooting promotional stuff for the opera company. So I'm going to make a video out of that. And maybe I'll send that to you in a couple days when it's my turn again. Anyway, can't wait to see your next video. Talk to you soon, pal. Please don't penalize me.